Illustrator how to create a repeating pattern that is fully editable. Today we're going to create this pattern or recreate this pattern that is Lunar New Year inspired. It actually contains three elements: the lion head costume, the yin yang, and this organic brushstroke behind it all. In the course materials, you're going to find a download that contains this Illustrator file. It's on a square artboard. It has three of the elements, again just mentioned, and the color palette used in the pattern that I just showed you. These three icons are part of a larger set of 88 vectorized auspicious Lunar New Year icons. You can find the full set in the store if you're interested. Again, I have pulled the elements from the pattern we're creating using the lion head, brush, and yin yang. But these three are free for you, so go ahead and make sure that you have that download, launch your version of Illustrator, and let's get started. We're going to create our pattern. If you haven't already, or if you'd like to go ahead and do so, you can color your icons. I've gone ahead and mimicking the pattern that I showed you, I've colored this red, this navy, and I've adjusted the yin yang to be the same. You can go ahead now and arrange on the artboard your base, basically your base cluster. Effective patterns are essentially a cluster of icons together. So you can go ahead, and then they're just repeated basically with some filler. So you're going to go ahead and arrange them how you see fit. Maybe you want this larger or smaller. Maybe you want more or less overlap or an entirely different color palette. To start with, that's entirely up to you. I think I'm going to rotate the brush stroke so it's a little more, just a different orientation basically. And let me double check the original. Yeah, that looks about the same. I just really want the lion head to be prominent because to me that's one of the most prevalent or strong associations with Lunar New Year that I have are the lion dance costumes. So that's basically my cluster, my pattern cluster that's going to repeat. And you're still going to have plenty of time to go ahead and make adjustments and make fine tune it. So don't worry about that now. But now that this is kind of basically how we want to get started, I'm going to go ahead and go into my window and my pattern options. Voila, this tool opens. If you don't already have it docked in your tools, that's fine. I just did that then, and I'm going to select this, and I'm going to go into my make pattern, and that's going to put you directly into your pattern making window basically. So voila, all of that repeats magically. And you can still edit it, which is awesome. So right now it's in just a basic grid. You can see they're just lined up vertically and horizontally. We want to go ahead and explore some of these other options for how it tiles that base that we made on our artboard, right? Brick is usually nice because it offsets it, and you can change how it's offset here. So see, this 2/3 setting really puts it kind of in between the others, and I really like that. It's still a regular pattern, but it's a little bit less, like rows of soldiers kind of things. There's other things that you can experiment with here: the overlap, the copies, yada yada yada. Just go ahead, based on your own pattern, decide what really pleases your eye basically. When you're done, don't forget to go ahead and title that. I'm going to title this Lion, just for simplicity, and I am going to say done, and it should take you out of that editing mode, and now we can go ahead and use it. I've created a new file, a new artboard, just to test it, because depending on your application, you might need to make some adjustments. What you're going to want to do though, if you use a new file, is sometimes you're going to have to copy and paste the pattern so that it ends up in your swatch palette. It doesn't always open in a new, unless you've loaded it into your library, which I haven't. So anyway, I'm going to add that pattern to my swatches. As you can see, it's in my swatch pattern. And what I'm going to do, what I like to do, is to go ahead and test the original. There you go. And this is just an A4 landscape artboard. And as you can see, it's a little bit big, or I think it's going to be big. So I personally would like to scale that pattern down so that it makes a little bit more sense on a sheet of paper. So what I like to do is to drag my swatch down to the plus to make a copy of it so that my original is undisturbed. And then to edit that, we're going to go ahead and double click it. It's going to take us back into our editing pattern interface. And all you have to do is to make sure that the size tile to art checkbox is checked, and you can manually select your core cluster, your pattern cluster, and just physically scale it down. And to constrain it, don't forget to hold down the shift key as you're doing so, and that's going to scale your whole pattern down uniformly. When you're done, you can check on done and go back to that, and as you can see, that's the new one. You can test it against the old one. Quite a big difference with regards to size. So there you have it. That is how you would edit it. Again, if you wanted to, depending on the usage, edit it even further, just go ahead and drag another copy and double click on that, and you can still continue to just explore different options, or even add some elements if you want to make it more complex, whatever you want to do. So that is it. I hope this was helpful, and I hope to see you again. Bye.